South Carolina Senator, GOP Senator Lindsey Graham. I believe he is live in Columbia, South Carolina today. All right, Senator, I want to start with this, talking about somebody outside to investigate these issues. And he said it's time for Congress to act today. What can you do? What will you do?
Well, I guess Congress, at the end of the day, nothing's going to happen in Congress between now and November. I don't think we have the ability to charge her with a crime. You got to get some outside organization to do that. But everything she said publicly about the emails have proven to be false. I think Mr. Trump's got it right when he's calling for somebody outside the Justice Department to look into this matter. If you're waiting on this Justice Department to hold anybody in the Obama-Clinton world accountable, you'll die of old age, and that's so sad, but it's true. You know, under the Bush administration, they appointed a outside independent special prosecutor to deal with Scooter Libby. I think what happened here deserves an outside look, so Mr. Trump's right to call for that.
Well, not long ago, she signed a statement under penalty of perjury that she had turned over all the required emails that had been requested from her. We have now seen tens of thousands of other emails surface.
Right.
We've had the members of the House Judiciary and Oversight Committees both send a letter to the U.S. Attorney in D.C. asking for an investigation into whether she perjured herself. They put Comey's statements up against her statements, and they point out the factual differences. Any confidence that the U.S. Attorney will actually take action on that?
Zero. The bottom line is the legislative branch is not, we're not prosecutors. We do have an independent obligation to investigate with us. Not somebody gave Congress false testimony, but the public statements that she made about her email systems have all fallen. She said she turned over everything that was work related. Well, there are thousands of work related emails that were not turned over. So the bottom line is, no, I don't. I hope the American people will look at this when they decide whether or not she's fit to be President of the United States. I think that's the way to hold her accountable.
Okay. She and Mr. Trump are both out there advocating for votes. We are down into the home stretch. I know that you, like many other Republicans, are emphasizing the issue of the Supreme Court. We have an opening now left by the death of Justice Scalia back in February. As a court watcher and coverer, I would guess that within the next few years, there are going to be a couple more people potentially who would retire from the court. How critical, how important do you think people are tuning in, whether they want to see more progressive justices, whether they want to see more strict constructionist kind of justices? How much does that hang in the balance with this election?
It's really a good issue. It's an important issue. It's the third branch of government. The president nominates, the Congress gives advice and consent, and you know, qualified nominees usually get picked. But a conservative president's going to pick a conservative judge. A liberal president's going to pick a liberal judge. All I can say is that Wayne Garland, if she nominated him, Hillary Clinton nominated Mr. Garland, that's probably about the best we would get from her. I would be inclined to support him.
Okay, wait a minute. So with that in mind, is there any chance, because there's been a lot of chatter about the fact that you guys may possibly, the Senate may move forward after there's been this absolutely no way pledge from the GOP that you would move forward on confirming him. Is it possible, knowing that you would probably get someone further left from Hillary Clinton, a President Hillary Clinton?
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to stick to what I said. The next president should make this pick. Historically, when a vacancy comes up in an election year late in the process like this vacancy did, you hold it over to the next president. I'm just saying if she does win, and I'm not supporting her, but if she does win and she nominated a person like Judge Garland, I think chances are he would get through. That's probably about the best you could expect. Mr. Trump's given us a list of really good names. A guy like Bill Pryor from Alabama, I would love to see him on the Supreme Court. So the court matters, but it probably matters more with the political basis. The independent voter who will decide this election are going to look at the president as a whole, the person as a whole, not just who you pick for the court, your judgment, your temperament, your background, are you ready to be commander-in-chief, or you're up to the job. It's not just going to be about who you would pick for the court.
Well, and of course, getting to the court, getting nominated is one thing. Getting to the court means going through the Senate. Right. With the makeup that you have now, you have several key GOP senators who are in really tough battles. What is your thought about, I know you've been out campaigning for some of your GOP colleagues, because what happens with the Senate could impact all kinds of things, regardless of who's at the top of the ticket and of who is the president.
Amen. Here's what I would suggest. We have really qualified, incredibly talented Republican incumbent senators all over the country. Keep them in office to check and balance against Trump or Clinton. Having a Republican-controlled Senate would matter a lot when it comes to court confirmations. You know, Donald Trump's got a great list, but at one time he suggested nominating his own sister, who I would pose with the last breath in my body. So I would like to have a Republican-controlled Senate.
Yeah.
No, she didn't, but she was on a list in the past. So the bottom line is it'd be nice to have a bunch of conservatives controlling the Senate to weed out some crazy pick. But the truth of the matter is that Hillary Clinton's nominees are going to be different than a conservative would make, and that's important for people to consider. But it's not the only reason you vote for president. It's going to be the overall package. And if Mr. Trump can up his game, and he is, he's doing much better. If he can close the gap, I think the chance of keeping the Senate goes up. If he can stay on message, this Clinton Global Fund thing is a gift from the political gods. It just reeks of, wrong. It reeks of insider benefits. It's the inside versus the outside, and Trump represents the outside, and he's in a pretty good spot if he can up his game to show he's got the judgment, temperament, and experience to be president of the United States.
Her team says there's no proof there were any favors, there was nothing quid pro quo. We know that there were meetings, we know that there was access, but they say there's nothing illegal in the mix here, and that the foundation has done good for a lot of people on things like health issues, HIV, helping out in Haiti. So what's the argument for closing it down?
Well, you don't have to pick between helping poor people and having a system you can be proud of. The reason they're promising to shut it down in the future, if she wins, is because the average American doesn't seem to believe this is the way the system should work. At the end of the day, this is not the way to help the poor. At the end of the day, this is an incestuous relationship between a former president and Secretary of State that at a very minimum looks bad. And why would the Clintons do it? They have dodged 1,000 bullets in their political career. She had a fresh start as Secretary of State. She sets up a private server trying to hide the way she does her job, not to be transparent, which comes with the job. And Bill Clinton is raising money for good causes, but he also is living pretty damn well off the Global Fund, traveling around first class everywhere. I don't want to belittle what the Clinton Initiative has done, the Clinton Global Fund has done, but at the end of the day, you can help the poor without having this kind of system. And that's why they're promising to get rid of it in the future, because it just doesn't look good.
Well, that is the same argument the Boston Globe made in an editorial just days ago, saying you can do these same things and meet the goals of the foundation if you're a donor. You may just have to do it somewhere else. All right, Senator Lindsey Graham, good to see you, sir.
Thank you.